What's going on, everybody? And in this week's lesson, we're going to look at some 2-5-1 chord progressions in drop D. Now, we talk a ton of drop D on this channel, and it's a blast. We also talk a lot about chord progressions, but we don't do a whole lot of jazz, right? But this is a great way to explore some new chords and maybe come up with some simple voicings, maybe add a little movement to your progression, and again, just expand your fretboard vision, all right? So I'm in drop D tuning. Down in the description below, you can find the links for the tabs, and let's jump right in. So I figure a good place to start is a nice little power chord here in second position. We're gonna be in the key of D, okay? So that means our three chords are gonna be E minor, A7, and then D major, or D major 7. And since we are doing jazz, we might as well have some extra chord tones here and there for some color, right? So we talk a lot about drop D and power chords here. So if I come in the second fret on the low string, that is E. Here's my E power chord. If I take my pinky, put it on 5 of the D string, I get a nice little minor chord. And then I put my ring finger on 4 of the G string, B. Complete triad, no extra color notes here. But that's a nice little minor chord on the low strings. And all of these chords are kind of obviously focused on the low strings. Okay, so that'll be the first one, right? So we have this little minor chord here in second position, E minor, and then we're gonna move to this chord. Now, if I was in standard tuning, this would be a regular old major triad, right? Good old major chord. But because of the drop D tuning, now I have this third fret moved up a step to 5. That third fret, in relation to the chord we're playing, is the 7 of A7. So it kind of puts this tritone shape on the lower strings, so it adds a little dissonance and tension to that chord, and that's what you're hearing, and it really stands out here in the lower registers. Now, since we're here, open position area, to grab the D, I'm gonna just play the open 5th here, open power chords, and then 4, 2, 2. Right? 4, 2, 2. There's a little major 7 chord right there. Get a really nice finishing chord there. You can add the open B and E strings to that for color, and you get this nice D major sound. Cool, so that works really nice. And let's kind of look at these chords up here, swap the strings around, right? So we can find this E chord way up here. Now, how did I come up with this? You know, notes of an E minor 7 chord are E, G, B, D, and then E. Right, so I'm kind of searching for those voicings. I know E is here. E is usually here for the tuning, but I do know that this note is G. And if I play a power chord, that's G and D. Those are kind of the notes right there, and E is right here. So I kind of started with this voicing right here, 10, 12, 9. Those notes are G, D, and E. Those are your root, 3rd, and 7. Those are your important tones here. But again, because of the tuning, B on the low string is now on 9. So I can play this shape, 9, 10, 12, 9. Nice little E minor shape right there, a little voicing and drop D. Sounds good, right? So now for the A7 chord, again, we're gonna mix a little tension in here. I'm gonna grab 11 of the low string, which is the 3rd of the chord, it's C sharp. And now I'm gonna grab B here on the 9th fret of the D string, and then I'm gonna grab G on the 12th fret, and then with my middle finger I can grab root note A. Right? And you get this nice A9 chord, for those who are keeping track. Adds a little extra tension. I can slide that down to the F sharp there, make it more of an A6 chord, sounds really nice. And then you can resolve to D major a couple different ways here. One really easy way that's similar to the D we played here is to just move it to 7th position, 9, 7, 7, 7, 9 on the high string. You get a cool chord like that. Or Some of us know this chord shape. Right? 12, 11, 10, 9. I can just D, E, F sharp. Get that major sound and have this little D triad right there all together. Sounds really nice. So I can go. Right? And there's a little 2-5-1 in that position. Some cool minor chords there. And you can pick this stuff out. Have some fun with it like that, right? We kind of skipped over this middle section, so let's look at that really fast before we head out. Normally, we can have this A major bar chord right here in 5th position. If I pick up my pinky, that's going to give us the A7 chord. Now, obviously, the tuning, not going to be an A7 chord, but this little tritone right here, 5 and 6, A is here, so I can put ring finger 5, 6, like that. 7 on the low string, 5 on the D, 6. And that's a nice, I can even bar it. 5 on the 2nd string. And that's really this chord, or just fingering all the notes from the bar chord. And that chord sounds really nice too as an A7 chord, right? So we have this little melodic motif right here. If this 7th fret of the G string is the root note, I can play that little major scale fragment right there, right? So if I'm here, I can grab that inversion there. And there you go. There's some fun 2-5-1 progressions, reimaginings here in the drop D tuning, right? Kind of give us a way to find some new chords, some new voicings, add a little movement, learn our fretboard, and just have a good time. So, like I said, down in the description below, you can find links for the tabs. And as always, let me know what you come up with. Until then, I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.